Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another Stock Kings YouTube video. And today we'll be going over Sundial Growers, ticker symbol SNDL. Now this has been a very popular penny stock as of recent, and there's been a lot of news talking about legalization, acquisitions, and we're going to be getting all into that later in the video. We'll also be going over some technical analysis and some plays that I'm looking at for this stock that can definitely make some money. But before we get into any of that, I want you guys to go ahead, give a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you know whenever we come out with a new video. I love all the support. Thank you guys so much for that. And I also have my Instagram link down below if you would be interested in that. I post new details about this channel every day, so go ahead, follow that as well. Let's get right into it here on the daily chart here on Sundial Growers, SNDL. As we talked previously, we had a pretty big run up all the way almost to $4. We kind of have this big run down, and now we are definitely sticking in this consolidation right here between 110 and 165. In the past couple of days, we've had a little bit of a recent run up right into the middle of this consolidation, and then we pretty much have stayed stagnant after that. Just a lot of back and forth bar coding. We are staying above the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA, which is a sign of bullish momentum. So that is also good. But let's get right into this news, talking a little bit about legalization here in the United States. We have an article here talking about New York on legalization and Governor Cuomo talking a lot about this possible vote on legalization for New York. So we have this comes as legislation leaders are preparing action on a reform measure that's being described as a compromise with Cuomo at the table. The plan is to hold a vote on legalization bill before the April 1st budget deadline, giving legislators about 2 weeks to advance it. Now, I know there's not a lot of good news facing Cuomo, and I think that is what's pushing him to get this legalization through for the state of New York. That's going to give him some, a lot better sentiment for him going forward. And I really like this legalization sentiment here in New York. If they do get a bill passed, you are going to see SNDL, Sundial, just skyrocket. I mean, just one signature, one legalization, one single state, especially one as big as New York. This stock is really going to get a lot of bullish momentum coming after that. And you saw before the huge run-ups just came from Joe Biden being in office and Democrats taking a hold of the federal government. And you saw the run-up from that. If we do actually get legalization in a big state like New York, you are going to see massive run-ups in this stock. There's also one thing I wanted to kind of discuss as well. I know this is just pure speculation. Please do not take this as financial advice. But I have seen as of recent, there with April coming up, in which is the month within 420. I have heard a lot of people talking about pushing SNDL to actually be at 420 on 420. So take that as you will. Obviously, not there's nothing substantial with that, but just something to keep in mind heading to that 420 day here in April, and also April 1st is a big date for you guys as well, with New York kind of getting a little vote on legalization for April 1st. But also, let's kind of get into some acquisition news. We're here on the Motley Fool. They're talking about that little recent run up that we've seen on SNDL. And that is coming from basically the big news was that British American Tobacco is making an investment in Canadian flower grower Organigram Holdings, and they're going to be taking a almost majority stake in them. And that is just huge news for the industry as a whole. Is a lot of these kind of tobacco companies are realizing that less and less people are going to be using their products and moving to healthier options. Whether you believe it's healthy or not, that is what they are believing. So they are definitely going to be taking stakes in a lot of these companies. And SNDL is a prime company for a big tobacco company to take a stake in. So if we do get a possible acquisition or even a merger, you can also see this stock run up massively. So there's huge potential in that, in a possible acquisition. Obviously, there's no news of anything as of late, but with this kind of news and a huge company like BAT taking Organigram Holdings and taking a stake in them is great bullish news for all these stocks in this industry, as more of these big tobacco companies try to come into this like different industry, different market to get a hold of new customers that are similar, that are looking for a healthier option to what they have. But let's get right into this technical analysis and let's look at some plays that we can get into here on SNDL. Now, I already have a lot of these support and resistance lines drawn in from my previous SNDL video. So if you want to know why I have these in these places at these price points, go ahead and watch that video. But we'll definitely be plotting some new ones as price has come to change. I think I made it on around March 5th, so when price was at a low here. And if you got into any of these prices coming down here at below $1, you're definitely looking pretty good right now as price has come up very recently. But as of late, we've definitely had a lot of consolidation here in that at 142, just staying pretty much stagnant in between this range. And I honestly think we could probably draw a nice little support in this range to kind of give us some more confirmations here. You can definitely see it has used this price a lot of times to kind of bounce off of as a support. And then it broke it as resistance, came down to our support that we already had. And now it has come back up and it is retesting this as a support. So on a long-term view, if we hold the support and continue up to this next resistance, this will be then where we would be looking for a break to then follow up to our next resistance point here at 228 and then our final at 297. And then I would definitely keep some runners at past this price point. This would not be my final take profit. I would be looking to come back up into that $4 as we talked previously, which is not substantial news. But there is something to keep in mind if people are trying to get this over $4 on 420. That is something that you guys should be looking at, coming up to that date. However, this is not, there's no facts behind this. This is just something I have been hearing about people talking about. But let's get into some shorter term trades if you guys are going to try to day trade this stock right here. I do want to make everyone aware, however, this is a very volatile penny stock, so please be careful. And everything I say on this channel for these plays is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, so please do your own due diligence and make these trades based on your own judgments. But we are still, however, we got a nice little cross of the 50 EMA going above the 200 EMA, which is a good sign of bullish momentum. We're coming up to here. It looks like we're hitting a pretty good resistance here. In the past, we came up to this price right here, waking up, could not hold. We close here, then run back down to test this kind of support that we drew on the daily. And now we definitely tested out of it, came back up, and we are now testing this resistance again. So I think that's a good kind of price to see if we can get a break out of. Actually, let's raise this a little bit to get some more recent. Yeah, so that's looking pretty nice. It looks like before even we got a little jump out of into this range, so be careful around the 149 area, but we'll be looking for a break recently here coming into next week. Anything above 144 would be looking nice. And then we have our daily resistance up here at 226, but I want to chart something a little more realistic for a day trade for you guys, and I would suspect probably around this price point, 192. So we'll be looking to break out of the 144 into the 165 area, try to get something around there. And then if anything, if we get any good confirmations above that, we'll be taking it to 192. So let's kind of chart this out so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about here, give you guys a good visualization of what I'm talking about. We'll get a nice break above here. I would say probably even with the top of this wick, if we get a candle to close around this area, that's what I would say as a good confirmation, because we don't like to take anything in this empty wick. We would like to see, a nice candle close above this, give us a good confirmation. We'll be taking our first partial profit there at around 164. Entry around the 148, 150 area. And then we'll be keeping stops just below this support line, just in case price does not go our way. We'll be getting out of this trade. We do not want to be in the trade in the short term if it's going bearish. So that will be our first kind of play, our first partial profit. We'll then be taking it up to our next, if we do get a good close above the 164, 165 resistance. And again, be aware of this empty wick. This is showing us that price was not able to really stick anywhere in this kind of price range. So make sure you're getting good confirmations anywhere above this to really make sure price is going to continue up. But then we'll be looking to take our next partial profit around here at 192. where we just plotted it recently for the 30-minute. We'll be then moving price here, and always trail your stop loss. Ensure that you are not risking any of the gains that you have already gotten. So if we kept our stop loss below this resistance, this gives price the opportunity to come back down and take us out here where we will be losing money. We do not want to lose money on any trades, guys. Please protect your capital at all costs. So if our price does move up to the 165, we will be moving our stop loss. I think probably a good kind of area to do this would be here. I like this just above this kind of, it looks like price was able to kind of bounce around in this area at 155. So if we do get anything above that, I would like to put my stop loss just kind of in that area, use that as a support. It gives us a little bigger of a stop loss, but it gives, this being such a volatile stock, it gives you some more room to kind of play around with for sure. Then our next partial profit, I can get this off my screen, would then be at 226. So in the short term, this would be kind of the area where you're looking at to kind of get out. That's a huge gain for a short-term trade. And then we'll be moving our price to here. Again, massive, massive stop loss. So be very wary of that. Please adjust your stop loss continuously as you are kind of playing around in this trade. You'll be looking to keep it somewhere around in this area. Just below this, then created support if we do get a good confirmation above this. And then if you guys want to stay in this even longer as a short term, if you're moving your stop loss, you can move it up to around 297. That will be an even greater take profit, but you are continuously, taking partials as price moves up. Make sure you are acquiring gains, lowering your risk as you move along as price goes up. I want you guys to make sure that is the best way to grow your account, is continuously take profits along the way. That will ensure that you stay in profits and do not go in drawdown. The risk management in these trades is the most important thing, and that is the most important thing to grow even a small account, a large account. That is the best thing you can do if you are trading these penny stocks, is continuously move your stop loss, adjust your stop loss so you're not going into any drawdown, and also be taking partial profits. Make sure you're plotting your support and resistance lines. You have a plan of attack when you're entering these trades. You know where you're going to take your partial profits, and you know what's going on, so you're not just going blindly into these stocks and you have no idea when to take it out, when to enter. Make sure you're plotting these support and resistance lines so you know when to take your partials and when to get out. That is the most important thing for these short-term trades. But however, I think that's all I have for today for SNDL Sundial Growers. If you found some value in this video, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Again, thank you so much for the support on this channel. I really appreciate it, you guys. I've loved it. I've been having so much fun posting these videos for you guys. But also, I have my Instagram link down below if you would be interested in following that. And as always, good luck going into next week. Get those gains, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.